So they'll be calling you a radical. Just got to see the PA came from the hospital. She says, "Boy, I remember 5, 6." And I says, "It's different this time. It never got it right. It was never right, and no one would ever. When you actually have to fight with them when they cause this to even get it. I mean, I had to fight with them for 6 months, beg, threaten to get a stress test. So back to the ecology. What we're up against in this country, shit, old third world America. The healthcare system is beyond disastrous. The food chain poisoned as hell. And no accountability. Everybody just keeps bowing to these poisoners. What about Fukushima? So, little nuclear reactor is going to save us. Little nukies are going to save it. What a sham. The 80-year nuclear energy is the greatest sham. Scum. This clan of creeps that have perforated this onto the United States populace. Started in the 30s, 40s, the war to end all wars, when it was the U.S. that nuked Japan. Should have never happened. Think about it. This is a society that indiscretionally mass murdered women and children just because. So they developed the Department of Nuclear. That's what the DOE was originally called. It was a clan that saw the opportunity for billions and trillions of dollars of free money. We'll sell you this magic trick. Here's this magic trick. Nuclear going to save everything. It's been that way for 80 years. Then they got dumb, ignorant Congress to go along. Well, we always get dumb, ignorant Congress to go along. We hate Congress. We hate Congress. We hate Congress. We hate our senators, but we always re-elect the exact same people. Jerry-rig the districts. It's a sham. So they pass a law called Price-Anderson in the 50s, which basically says all this free money, we do whatever we want with it, and it's billions and billions and trillions, and we don't have to pay it back. You don't think Bill Gates knows this? You don't think that NuScale? You don't think all these scumbaggeries, Musk, all these nukers, it's a clan. It's a club. It's the clan. The CIA clan, the Kissinger crew. They'll know it. And the American populace cannot wake up. Here's a couple $100 million up front. Could build little nuclear reactors in Idaho. They've been trying that since the 50s. Utah going to fund them. Why would Utah fund them? That's a very good question. They're not building anything. They're not making anything. Like, again, Price-Anderson. They know it's free money up front, and the Immunity Act throws the liability on the United States taxpayer. It's like the debt. The debt's $31 trillion, really out of control, with no way to pay for anything. Tax the future, give to my friends, GOP. Oh, they're disgusting. And then the left, we're imperialist. We're in the next Barack Obama. I love the people that are still on their knees for Obama, the lefties. He lost 12 Senate seats. Oh my God. It doesn't change. Bush, then we get Obama dumber, then we get Trump, then there'll be no change. No change. The same shit. Let's see, / I'm Alex Jones. We hate globalists. We support an agenda. The / is the tax rate to 0 on globalists. You don't think that empowers these people? They just laughing and, nuclear is a fairy tale. It's always been a fairy tale. We're going to have jets and cars. We're going to have nuclear this. We're going to have nuclear that. We've been told nuclear everything known to man. They got shit. And so you think about it, we call that opportunity cost in finance, right? Think about it. For 1/10 of this money, but towards lots of causes, healthcare, housing, any of these, we wouldn't have these problems, would we? Because these people are evil. They're sucking the life out of this to create their imperialistic, idealistic, we're better than you. Look at us. Give us more money. And it's never enough for these Freudian dogs. And we just keep playing along. Bernie's the only one who said it right when he just cut the umbilical cord a long time ago. When Fukushima happened, I'm like, part of me was really, I knew immediately that there were meltdowns that day. And the reason I knew, because I was a famous professor at Weber State for the Black Mile, real famous, and the number one school business in the country. Undebatable. Yeah. Nuclear U. I'd written paper after paper after paper, research after research on Mach 1, Mach 2s, what they could handle as far as spent fuel pools. I knew the spent fuel because it was never built to be stored on site. And that's, again, you go back to Oliver Stone and these freaks. Here's what I ask them, and this is what you people can ask people. If you ever get in to have a conversation with them, they won't have a conversation with me because they know I'll tear them to shreds. So here's what I always say. Okay, you're so pro-nuclear. I want you to answer me one thing. We use uranium, right? That's what, to boil the water. Uranium pellets. Could you tell me the process of how we get uranium-238 from the earth and turn it to 235? We don't use 238 in nuclear reactors, which is natural from the earth. We use 235. Could you explain that to me? And these so-called muck-mucks, these experts, and I've been in all their faces on this, none of me know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, then how are you pro-nuclear? And they're like, well, I don't, and then I just look at them and I said, you need to shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We take it, we spin it in a centrifuge process, which is filthy, nasty as hell. We gas it with a hex gas that induces it, separates it, then it starts to collide. And when it collides, it creates all kinds of free radicals, man-made heavy metal, including plutonium. 98% byproduct. That's before we boil the water. Then I ask them, what, you really think cooling down the earth by boiling all the earth's water over and over is going to cool the earth? Now I want you to take your stove, go out to your local creek, go out to your ocean, whatever, and get some water. Take your microscope over the water just take a pan and look at it. It'll blow your mind how many organisms you can see, even just with your glasses. I mean, it's murky, all kinds of. Put a microscope and look at it. Like, holy shit, whoa. I didn't realize how alive it is. Okay, then turn on your stove and boil it. It kills it. And then the steam that comes off the byproduct, you know how much water they suck in a minute? Just basically all the Earth's water, and it goes back in hotter. And somehow that's going to cool the earth? No, it is. This is about wealth and power and, the CIA and their freak show. I go back to Stanford. Stanford, that institution should be closed. And, everybody should be arrested every year. It always goes back to Stanford, in that whole area. I go back again when Stanford had accepted ESP. The mind could bend the spoons, move things. They had incorporated these. Urey and these creeps had tricked them and fooled them. And they went along. Why? Because the federal government was funding them. The CIA went there. Remember their third eye, overseeing, which was all a sham. Money. Giant money. These guys don't do anything and make giant money. Kissinger's puppets. That's what this is about. And they just suck more wealth and more life every day. Please. This is 2000. Solar's always been the answer. But yet they won't let it happen because they've captured the media. Look at these creepy media, who they are. Oh my God. Just start looking at the board of directors, all of them. How did they do it? One by Jetstream, two by Operation Foxconn News, right out of the House of Windsor. Lord Rothschild and Balco. Freaking Rhodes Scholar Rhodesia. Read all his quotes. Post-war. Don't say that, you get in trouble. Anyway, they created the Department of Nuclearism. Look up Jeff Bezos' grandpa, guys. It's always funny, these guys come out of nowhere with this super duper Bill Gates. Bill Gates never invented. Now tell me this: how does Bill Gates have a speaking at anywhere? He's not a scientist. He's not even in academia. He's never invented anything. How in the God is he foremost in all these what? Bloodlines? Bezos. How does every .com go freaking bankrupt? Not him. He lost money for 30. Where does all this money come from? Elon Musk. What a sham artist. It's what we listen to all day, every day here in North Utah. Wings, we will, all day. You're trying to recover in the hospital. You should hear it in the hospital. They fly right over the top of you while you're, military industrialist complex is looting this country. Pay the Dragon Slayer, boogeyman. Nuclear energy is the most filthy, dirty con game. It's a magic show. They pulled on these dumb sheep every other day. When Jennifer Graham home, we're at Livermore. We've got a new one. We're on 60 Minutes. Send us another billion, gazillion, quadrillion. Oh, fuck. No such thing. Never will be. Albert Einstein was right. Einstein said this technology has been taken as far as it can go. He said that in the early 50s. You will never advance it. This whole thing, and when we get a meltdown, you're going to get this genie out of the bottle. And it's going to change every living freaking organism on the face of the earth. Well, will humans adapt? Yeah, in 50 generations. But we're going to chalk everything up post-2011. And just think about it. And we allow this. We allow this cult, this clan, and the sheep go along. Well, it's been proven historically. They captured academia. I'm an ex-famous professor. The number one school business in the country. I was the guy. Look at me. Look what they did to me. That's unarguable, number one. Unarguable. That's via the testing. I was the guy there. I wrote paper that these Mach 1, Mach 2s, because the spent fuel was never supposed to be on site, that they couldn't handle even a 7.6 spent fuel pulse. The cores, I knew they couldn't handle over 8 on the Richter. This was a 9. I knew they'd fractured, and this is the